Alright guys, with all Ross here, today I'm going to be reviewing Backlash 2017, the SmackDown Live pay-per-view, which took place last night and followed one of the very best NXT takeovers there has ever been, and I am not exaggerating. And how did the show fare? Well, it didn't, basically. Backlash 2017 was not a joke show, but it certainly was just a title match-filled SmackDown with one great match, a kind of lackluster debut, and some and some stupidity. If you've seen my video on Jinder Mahal, you know where I'm going to go, but I'm going to leave that till the main event. If you haven't seen that video, please check it out before watching this one. I think it's probably a good starting point to feel where my psyche is at. So, the show kicked off, of course, on the pre-show with Aiden English against Ty Dillinger. I don't watch the pre-show anymore. I'm not an idiot. I say this every time. Apparently, it was okay. Ty Dillinger won with the new tiebreaker. He's always used the tiebreaker. So, unless he's using a different move and just calling it the same name, that's silly. But yeah, he won with the tiebreaker, which is just an Ushi-Goroshi. Whatever. Show kicked off with the debut of Shinsuke Nakamura as he took on Dolph Ziggler. Kevin Dunn does not know. My phone just went off. I am very sorry. Kevin Dunn does not know how to capture Shinsuke Nakamura. He does not. He misses all his facial expressions. He misses all his poses with the crowd. All you needed to do to transition this guy from NXT to the main roster was copy what they did in NXT. You've got to get those facial expressions. You've got to get those poses in because they are such an important part of his character. They show so much charisma. And Kevin Dunn missed loads of these. And I haven't even talked about the match yet. So we were going in, to be fair. And the thing is as well is that there's just so many things I could harp on about. Like the fact that he's fighting Dolph Ziggler. A lower mid-carder who doesn't beat anyone. Like, are you being serious? Here's the problem. So, when he debuted in NXT, Shinsuke Nakamura, he faced Sami Zayn. He was a main event talent, Sami Zayn. And he beat him in a battle, in a war, and it was amazing. He's facing Dolph Ziggler. A guy who has been reaching for the brass ring for about a decade, and has caught it once for a month, then got concussed, and then caught it briefly, but unfortunately his IC title reign got cut short. He's against a guy who really, in beating Dolph Ziggler, does nothing for Shinsuke Nakamura. And that's not even the biggest problem with the match. Dolph Ziggler had probably 75% of this match. So Shinsuke Nakamura, on his debut, is just another guy on SmackDown. He's just another guy. He's not a main eventer. He's just a mid-card guy. Shinsuke Nakamura did some creative stuff. He used his guard, he used his striking. He didn't show that much flair, really. I'm not going to lie. I thought the structure of the match was okay. I thought the fact that basically Dolph hit his big moves, the DDT, the Famouser, the Zigzag, and Nakamura got to kick out of all of them. It does show Nakamura's resiliency. Nakamura got to introduce the crowd to all of his big moves, the spinning heel kick, the reverse exploder, the knees to the face and that sort of stuff, but this just didn't feel like a really big match. And in the end, Dolph Ziggler just got way too cocky. He spat in the face of Shinsuke Nakamura. Nakamura just kneed him and kicked him in the chest and the face. He gave him a Kinshasa on the apron. He then went for one off the top rope. Dolph Ziggler ducked. Dolph Ziggler, I believe, I can't remember what he went for. He went for the super kick. Nakamura ducked, elbow to the back of Dolph Ziggler, reverse exploder, Kinshasa, 1, 2, 3. The crowd popped for one thing really in the whole match, and it was that Kinshasa. They just one of the most important debuts that has just been nothing. I feel so, and it's nothing to do with the workers. It's nothing to do with them. They had a match that was good. I'm going to give it 3 stars. But it's probably the second best match on the show as well. Like, moving on. We had the SmackDown Live Tag Team Championship match. By the way, KO today. The camera's not really looking down enough. That'll do. KO today. SmackDown Live Tag Team titles, Breezango against the Usos. A lot of people loved this match. I loved it, but that doesn't change the fact that it was stupid. What I mean is the fact that they did a comedy gimmick, which is not even really house show worthy, this comedy gimmick. It worked, and the bit where Tyler Breeze is rolling from corner to corner, preventing the Uso from doing the splash, it was funny, I agree, but it was dumb, and it took away from the seriousness of the occasion. I thought Breezango should have just gone out there and had a really good tag match with the Usos, and I think they could have done that. But no, Tyler Breeze had to be a janitor, and he had to be a grandmother. Like, why? I get the fashion police, but take this title match seriously. There was very little tension to any of the near falls, I'm not going to lie. I didn't really ever think that Breezango were going to win because of the stupidity of their gimmick. But it wasn't a bad match. Like, everything was technically fine. Fandango, I thought, was pretty good. Did some good outside dives. Tyler Breeze did some great kicks, stuff like that. But in the end, you know, the Usos won. Tyler Breeze got thrown into the audience. Fandango did that big sort of tope con hero over the top rope, taking out both Usos. He threw one in, went for the last dance off the top, and then got caught with a super kick from the Usos for the pin. And that was it. And that's Breezango done. Like, they got beat. They got beat fair and square. Like, okay, one of the Usos held Fandango's leg, but they got beat fair and square. So, they're out of the title picture. 2.5 stars. Just SmackDown quality. Like, I don't want to harp on these matches so much, but just... Then we had, I believe... Oh, crap. What was even next? Sami Zayn versus Baron Corbin. Baron Corbin is still slow. He's still cumbersome. This is, you know, the top 3 heel on the brand, and he just doesn't move. Like, he doesn't have this presence anymore to me. He really doesn't. He's lost so much. He's not like Braun Strowman. Like, Braun Strowman is nowhere near the worker Baron Corbin is. Baron Corbin's not a great worker, but Braun Strowman has a presence. And he's unbeaten, pretty much. Like, he's lost to Roman Reigns, but it's Roman Reigns he's lost to, so it doesn't matter. Baron Corbin doesn't have that aura anymore. And Sami Zayn's a geek. Like, he's a big geek. There was some good stuff, but it was a kind of boring match, and it was one of the weaker matches on the show. Like, and that's horrible to say, because it's a Sami Zayn match. Sami Zayn never has bad matches. And it wasn't a bad match. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying it was boring. It was cumbersome. There was very little tension. The crowd weren't into it that much. In the end, Sami Zayn got a win, which is shocking because Baron Corbin's being pushed as what, the number 3 heel now, with Jinder Mahal being the world champ. So Sami Zayn won with a Ole kick and a Huluva kick out of nowhere. It's not like he won the match. It's like Baron Corbin lost, basically. Is the way that I heard Brian Alvarez word it. So, I'm going to give the match 2 3/4 stars. It was decent, but again, just SmackDown quality. Like, I just wish these matches were better. Then we had the women's 6-man pointless match, really. The welcoming committee, which was Tamina, Carmella, and the other girl, Natalya, the leader, with James Ellsworth, against Charlotte, Becky Lynch, and Naomi. A team that should never be losing to a team of Carmella and Tamina. I get that they needed to put the welcoming committee over. That is good. That is a good booking decision on this show. But I would have put them over stronger. I would have had them win outright. I would have had them pin the champ, as opposed to the weakest member of the face side, Becky Lynch, who I thought was pretty good in this match. She had some great fire. Really. She did some good stuff with Natalya. Charlotte, did some good stuff. Naomi was in for a brief period, but just the match. I just want them to have a really good match so I can say they had a really awesome match. But it was just a match. And in the end, I believe Natalya caught Becky Lynch with the sharpshooter and Becky tapped out. Good finish. I just think they should have won even stronger to show how tight of a unit they are. In my opinion, Natalia needs to go for that woman's title. She needs to win that woman's title, and she needs a reign that's going to take her to at least Survivor Series with this faction. Build it up. Add someone else to the faction. Turn Becky Lynch heel and add her to the faction. That would be a great way to get Becky Lynch some real fire, because she has lost so much steam. She won the SmackDown Women's title. She was on top of the world. She lost it in her first pay-per-view title defense. She's then done very little outside of that. So, 2.5 stars to that 6-man women's tag. We then had the easily best match of the show, Kevin Owens and AJ Styles, who came out to save us. These men had a great match. Great back and forth from Styles and Owens. Just kick combos and just really an indie style was brought in this matchup. And it felt like it. Owens worked over Styles so well in this matchup. The leg injury from Styles didn't come into play till about halfway through, which was perfect. Let the two men, go at it early on, pound for pound, blow for blow. That was really, really smart to let them just go at it early on. With Owens hitting his pump handle neck breaker and super kicks and stuff like that. Great stuff. Styles was awesome, just as he always is, especially when the leg injury came into play, throwing Pele's. And one of the coolest sells of the weekend I've seen was Styles going for that phenomenal forearm, slipping on the ropes because of his injured leg, and Owens basically just picked him up, and I can't remember what he hit him with, but It might have been that pump handle neck breaker, but I thought that was such a smart and key spot, and selling is missing in wrestling these days, so that was great from AJ Styles. Over the past 2 days, I've seen such good selling, like Bobby Roode, Itami, AJ Styles. I thought the selling from what's his name? Damn it. Crap. Who's selling on the NXT show was really, really good. Crap. I can't remember. But, yeah, it's really good selling over the past 2 days. The finish in this match came when the two men were outside of the ring. Styles went for a Styles Clash on the floor off the apron, which was such a cool spot. Oh, no, this bit was when Owens would injure the leg. He would throw Styles' leg into the post and then throw Styles into the steps. Really cool spot there. But at the finish, Styles would go for hit a phenomenal forearm to Owens off the barricade, which was cool. He then went for a Styles Clash through the announce table, which Owens moved and pulled Styles' injured leg through a gap in the table. Styles' leg would get caught up in some wires. Styles would not beat the 10 count. I could give this match more if there was a finish. I liked the finish because it postpones the feud, but if this had a proper finish, I could give this more. I'm going to give this 4.25 stars. This was a really great match. Really great match. Probably the third best match of the weekend. Which, good. Although, to be fair, it would have been the third best match in that NXT show. Still. So, then we had the penultimate match of the show, Eric Rowan and Luke Harper. This was absolutely pointless. This was just a match. It was thrown on the show to fill time. Luke Harper won with a discus elbow as opposed to a discus clothesline. Someone was totally out of position. Eric Rowan was basically trying to feed off the mask through the match, which totally didn't work because he lost. He ran into the discus elbow. I'm not calling it a clothesline. I'm going to give that match 1.75 stars. It was boring. It was stale. It just lacked energy. And then we move on to the main event. Jinder Mahal, Randy Orton. I've talked about this a lot already, but I do just want to say I thought they did very well in establishing Jinder Mahal in this match because Randy Orton immediately before the bell attacked him, got some retribution, tried to get the upper hand on Jinder Mahal, was saying, "Come on, I do take you seriously now." But on second viewing of the match, it was better than I said last night, not by much. I'm going to give the match 2.75 stars. It was decent. I hate the finish. I've already told you. I'm not going to go through that. Jinder Mahal, the WWE champion. Owen Hart was never WWE champion. British Bulldog, Jake Roberts, Ravishing Rick Rude, were never WWE champion. So it stings a little that Jinder Mahal is now in the record books. And yes, he's going to lose it at the next pay-per-view. So all you don't hinder Jinder people, I'm going to smile when he loses that title. You have no idea. Especially if he loses it to Randy Orton. And Randy Orton becomes a 14-time world champion. Because you people wanted this. So now you're going to get it. 2 3/4 stars. Jinder Mahal ends with the WWE title to end the show. I do just want to give a shout out to Randy Orton for doing the best back suplexes ever to the Singh brothers, and he knew that he'd fucked up on them as well, because the grimace on his face was like, oh shit, that wasn't good. But he just smiled and was like, I don't even care. I don't even care, because this is stupid. So Backlash, my final rating for the show is a 5 out of 10. I gave Chicago a 10. I give the show a 5. The whole point of the WWE main roster is to be better than the NXT show. And I say this every time. Brooklyn and Orlando and everything. But it's just never good enough, is it? They're never good enough. They never do better than the Orlando guys. And I don't want to hear all the bullshit responses anymore. I seriously don't. 5 out of 10. Backlash 2017 was a hyped up, title match filled episode of SmackDown that had stupidity all round, a stupid WWE title victory, really a stupid tag match, and it was just a show. Thanks for watching, guys. This has been Robust Lot. Like, comment, subscribe for more. Tell me your thoughts. What did you think of Backlash 2017? Do you hate me? Do you hate me? Do you hate me for thinking that the show was just mediocre? What do you think to the WWE Champion Jinder Mahal? What did you think was the best match on the show? What did you think to Shinsuke Nakamura's debut? What did you think to the Breezango match, I suppose? Thanks for watching, guys. This has been Revolver Rosslot.